Hello and welcome to the Classroom Connection, the show that takes you inside Marion County Public Schools. I'm your host, Kevin Christian, and coming up on today's show, you're going to meet some local students who are star athletes on the field and star scholars in the classroom. Then you'll learn how one local elementary school brought the presidential election home, and then discover how the Orlando Science Center comes to Ocala to enlighten students and their parents. Up first, though, it's a brand new year, and we have a brand new superintendent. Voters elected George Tomyn to the district's top educator post back in November, and since then he's spent time putting his cabinet together and communicating his vision for our district, and he joins us now to share that vision and much more with us this morning, this afternoon, whenever you're watching this. So, Mr. Tomyn, first of all, congratulations. The last time you were in here, you were a candidate.
Yes, I am, and Happy New Year, by the way,
Absolutely.
while we're together. Yes, I was a candidate in this very room, scared to death, sweating bullets, just about like I am right now.
No, not at all. Let's talk about your vision for this district. It's something you're certainly familiar with, but what do you want our viewers to know when it comes to you in the top position and what you want for our district?
Well, I certainly believe that we measure success one student at a time. And I don't have a catchy phrase now on how we state that vision, but I certainly believe that because I think if we focus on that vision, which is success for students, that the numbers will take care of themselves. School grades will improve, individual student scores will improve, but it's putting the right teacher with the right tools with that specific student each and every day.
Where do you want to take our district?
I think we have a wonderful district here in Marion County. You know that Marion County is my home. And I don't want to take our district anywhere, but I certainly would like to showcase our district. I'd like to tell our people in our school, in our county that don't know a great deal about Marion County, what a great system we have, and I fully intend to do that.
How are you going to do that? That was my next question.
Okay, we're certainly going to go out into our community. You're going to be a major part of that because we're going to develop some
Right.
community action statements that we're going to advertise what the great things that we do in our school system. This program is one of the things that we're going to do. You'll also see a lot of me in our community. I plan to go into our community with your help and the help of my district staff team to go into our community and showcase what we're doing. Listen also to our community. We'll be on a traveling road show, if you will, in the next few months after the first of the year. Well, we're already in the first of the year, and that's what we plan to do, to go out in our community.
You spent months on the campaign trail. You talked with thousands of people in our community. They obviously invested the time and the confidence in you to put you in that superintendent position. How connected or maybe how disconnected is our community when it comes to our school system?
I think I think our community does not know enough about our school system. Many are connected with our school system. Let's look at the numbers for just a second. We have 42,000 students, almost 6,000 employees. Calculate 60 to 100,000 significant adults, whether they be parents or aunts or uncles or grandparents that are monitoring those children. Thousands of miles that our buses travel each and every day delivering kids to school. We have a lot of opportunity to interact, but I think we take it for granted. And that's something that I want the rest of our community to know that is not directly affiliated with our students and with our system, the great things that we're doing. And they're going to hear from me.
All right. Now, I know when you first came into office, you made some pretty sweeping changes, some people would say, with your leadership team, as expected with any kind of new leader, if you will. What other changes can we expect, or should we expect any other changes when it comes to key leadership positions?
I don't think there are any more key leadership positions that are changes that are going to be made. I think it's very important to assemble the right team, and I have chosen some leaders with a great deal of experience and certainly with a great deal of passion and understanding of our community. These people are committed to listening to our employees, to listening to our community, and then putting together the right package for our students. I think the thing you're going to hear an awful lot about is our new division that we're calling K-12 Academic Services, which is a merger or marriage, if you will, of our staff development and curriculum departments. We have to train our teachers in the new things that are coming at us in the near future in the state of Florida, the nation, and the world. We train our teachers right, again, equip them with the right things that they need to help individual students, and that is our goal, and that's what our K-12 Academic Services Department is going to be doing.
No doubt one of those top topics for that department, if you will, is going to be Common Core. Let's talk about that for a second. What is that, and what does that mean for our students and for our teachers?
Well, Common Core is certainly the merger of 45 different states in the United States who have decided to essentially present one type of curriculum or one set of curriculum standards to all states and all schools within those states, so we can better measure and compare ourselves with other states. These are standards that we know are applicable to the 21st century. They are challenging, they are rigorous for students, they are challenging for teachers to prepare students for, and I believe that we're well on the way to creating the right chemistry here in Marion County to address those challenges.
We're just hearing about the beginnings of Common Core, and that's going to be around for a long time. You've used the analogy of driving the bus and riding the bus repeatedly. How effectively are you able to do that when you have so many state and federal requirements, mandates that you have to meet?
Take a deep breath and sit next to a good partner on that bus, and I think that's how we can do this. Listening, taking our time to fully understand what the Common Core means, what our federal regulations, what our state regulations mean, but then we can't get past the fact that we are already a pretty good school community, and let's relax. Let's not try to do everything on the first day back after we've been trained to do something. Let's relax. Let's put things in a little bit at a time. Already here in Marion County, our Common Core instructional strategies are being implemented in grades K through 2 right now. They'll be implemented in other grades at a slower pace next year. So we're getting our teachers ready. We know that the staff development is important for them, and we will get them ready, and we are here to support their every move.
New curriculum, new leadership, new business system. Are we recreating our school district here?
No, I don't think we're recreating our school system either. Our school system is about people. We're going to make our people more efficient and make them better employees to serve our students.
As the new superintendent, what do you want local taxpayers, parents, community members, anybody interested in our school system, what do you want them to know about us?
That we're a bunch of good people working real hard for the betterment of our children, and we're doing a good job, and we're going to show that. Again, with your help, like we have later on in this program, we're going to show the great things that our school system creates. You
know, we live in a society that kind of jumps on everything that's negative, and we have our share of negative stories, negative issues, if you will. But I'm encouraged to hear you say that you want to kind of change that view, if you will, and share those successes, emphasize those successes that our students have, that our teachers have, that our district has. You think you're going to be able to convince people to always look at the positive instead of focusing on the negative?
Well, I'm not going to do this by myself, and I think our students can do that for us, and our employees can do that for us. I think we need to be willing to go out into our community. I love this community. I love Marion County, and I'm not afraid to go out into this community. You mentioned the campaign trail. I've been in places in Marion County I thought I would never go, and I don't know if I'll go back again, but I certainly enjoyed visiting with all those people. They are yearning for knowledge. They're yearning for information about our school system, and we can give it to them.
What's the biggest challenge when it comes to meeting that?
Time constraints, I think. My schedule, I no longer control my schedule. I thought I would, but I don't anymore. And I think
only weeks into the position you realize that.
I think there's so many things to do. We need to learn how to prioritize what we're going to do and what we get the best bang for our buck. And I think that prioritizing our challenges is a big thing for us.
Well, you're my boss. That's no secret. Everybody knows that, and I report to you directly. But besides that, I sense your passion. I see that. We can hear it in your voice. How do you convince those people who've been with us for 10, 20, 30, 40 years in some cases that it's just as exciting this morning as it was 30 years ago when they started?
Well, I think we got to get out there and hold hands and clap each other on the back and share our excitement, because there are exciting things that go on each and every day all across our school system. And often we lock ourselves inside our classrooms or lock ourselves inside our offices, figuratively, not literally, and we don't share with others. And I think sharing, let's focus on people, for crying out loud. This is what we're all about. We're not making widgets. We're not building cars. We're helping kids grow up and be great adults. And we have a history of doing that, so let's keep doing it.
Speaking of people, you have 2 new people on the school board. Mrs. Ely and Mrs. Stacy, and they have a few school board meetings under their belt now. How are you feeling about the school board now? Because there was a time when our school board was very divided.
I think this group is going to be a great group. They have individual interests and passions, of course, but they're focused. The 2 or 3 board meetings we've had thus far, it's very clear that they want to participate. They understand that they are a group. They have attended a work session here in Marion County. We have 2 work sessions scheduled with the Florida School Boards Association in January. And they've attended the state association meeting already, and they understand, and they're understanding more and more what their roles are. And they want our school system to be successful also. I can hear them say that, and you can too if you watch our board meetings.
Yeah. When you go to schools and when you talk to principals and teachers and see students, on the way back to the car, what goes through your mind? Oh,
I enjoy this. I use it, I call it the grandfather fix. I don't have any grandchildren yet, but I hope to one of these days. But I like to go to a school, and I call it to get a kid fix. I stopped by a school this morning and just drove by while the buses were unloading. Not that I particularly like the smell of diesel, but at the same time, I like to see the kids. Kids are fresh in the morning. They're excited. They're ready to be there. Teachers and other people on duty appreciate the fact that somebody from the district office is just swinging by. I said, I'm not staying long, just passing through saying hello. And that's important to me, and I enjoy that aspect of the job very much.
Well, we can see that and we can hear that. I appreciate your time this morning sharing with us.
Thank you. I expect to be back.
Absolutely. Well, the 2012 presidential election may be far behind us now, but it made quite the impression on students nationwide, including those right here at home at Emerald Shores Elementary. That's because they cast their own ballots and discovered just how important one vote in either direction can be. Tom Louder takes us to the polls.
Students at one school in Marion County are learning a civics lesson, alongside writing and arithmetic. They're also learning some of the choices that they will have as full-fledged voting adults.
Because it only happens every 4 years, and the presidents are important to change the country, and if we don't have a good president that supports us, then it won't affect our country, and it'll be harder for us to change the country. So
you fold it once, okay, and then you bring it to that, and then flip it through. Okay.
Our students here at Emerald Shore to experience an event that only occurs once every 4 years in our country, and yet we feel it's such an important event that we wanted to capitalize that here at our school and let the children experience it as their parents would as a voter. We have several stations set up just like they do at Marion County, and we wanted them to experience that. It's what makes our nation different from many of the other nations. We are a democracy, we have that right to vote, and I want them to see how important that is.
I do believe that some of the students have a grasp on what voting actually means and how important it is.
Presidents make a big role in our education, so they have to be able to be a leader. And when people vote, they need to know which one's going to be right for this country.
Here are just some of the experiences that the students are going through on this, their voting day.
Starting out, they have their new Marion County IDs, and they can show that just like their parents are going to be showing their driver's license when they vote. They have a poll worker that is our security guard that will find their name on the roster. They have to sign their name just like their parents would. They will be handed a ballot, and then they will go to the second station where they will privately vote for whom they want to be president. We're just voting for the president here. They will be then going to the third station where they will put their ballot in a box.
So the voting is over for most of our junior voters. Any words of wisdom or parting thoughts?
I reminded them that in 8 years, they are going to be voters themselves, and maybe they might even want to be a poll worker. We even had a little bit of a donut fest for them too, just like the poll workers do.
Put your vote in there. Fold it up,
I'm hoping they will see how important maybe this election here isn't, but the national election, especially this year, is so important. Hopefully they've been watching television and have seen how close the race is going to be, and they will understand then that every vote counts.
As in real life, students re-elected Barack Obama as president, beating rival Mitt Romney with a 350 to 113 finish. Obama captured about 76% of the student body vote. Well, since 2009, athletes at Forest High School have captured 6 state championships. Last year, Forest had the second best athletic program in the state. In the classroom, that is. It doesn't make sense? Joel Hartley explains how the Wildcats truly are student athletes.
The term student athlete is sometimes accompanied by a rolling of the eyes, but at Forest High School, they take it seriously.
It definitely means being an example for your peers, definitely showing that you can have fun, but at the same time you don't have to give up everything with your academics and just forget all about that to be successful in athletics. You can multitask, I guess you could say, and do both and work hard at both.
It is like a source of pride too, because you're like more than just a student. You have something about you that's different, and it just makes you feel a little bit more responsible. You have a little bit more on your plate, and that's like a little slice of adulthood, having like a lot on your plate and to rise to like the challenges.
We really take pride in our classroom work and school before football, and that really reflects on us as a football team. Gives us more class and, respect for the game.
Since 2009, Forest has twice had the highest GPA in the state in football, volleyball, and girls soccer, claiming the academic state championship in those sports.
It's the same classification that you would compete in within the sport athletically. You compete based on unweighted team cumulative GPAs. That means the GPA counts for every course that has been taken the whole entire high school career of that particular student athlete.
When I found out the first year in 2009 that we were the 6A state academic champions, I mean, I was as proud of accomplishing that as a head coach, than maybe winning 10 football games, because, to me, that's why they're here. They're here to be a student first and an athlete second.
While it's clear the Wildcats aren't a bunch of dumb jocks, they aren't unathletic geeks either. Last month, Forest won not only the county's academic title with a 3.43 GPA among its athletes, but the overall athletic title as well, earning 62.5 out of a possible 70 points for 10 fall sports.
I would say that's a pretty dominant performance by our students, without a doubt. And that said, as you mentioned, those kids that got the 62.5 athletic points, they also did the same thing over on the academic side, and they won that championship as well. So it does speak very highly of the fact that they can compete both out on the field and in the classroom.
Statewide, Forest finished higher than any public high school in Class 7A last year, second only to St. Thomas Aquinas in Fort Lauderdale in overall athletic academics. What makes that even more impressive is the amount of time the Wildcats spend on the road, thanks to a spread-out district.
Long road trips to Tallahassee we made this year, and I had to bring homework along with me to get it done, because sometimes we wouldn't get back till 2 in the morning. So you definitely have to make the sacrifices of choosing to sometimes, not have fun while you're on the road trips and get to work.
It can be hard sometimes, but you just have to have time management skills. And I mean, if you get things done and go to your practices, do your homework, you still have time to be social.
I'm very, very proud of what our students have done, and it's really no reflection on anybody other than them and the teachers, and the coaches that work with those kids. That's who deserve all the credit.
About half the students at Forest participate in some kind of athletic program. That's about 1,000 students. Well, imagine a world-class science center coming to a school near you. Throw in some pretty cool hands-on activities and invite parents into the mix, and you've got a science experiment that is ready for takeoff. The Orlando Science Center opened its own satellite branch office near Ocala, you might say, if only for a day, at Marion Oaks Elementary. As Chadwick Pierce shows us, they bring quite the show with them.
Staff members from the Orlando Science Center visited Marion Oaks Elementary School
And they brought with them some pretty cool visuals and interactive experiments for the students.
We are here today to bring some of our really cool educational programs that we do at the Science Center, but we also take them to schools that sometimes don't have it in their scheduling to come see us. So we take them to schools. Today we've got a number of workshops that is our Forces of Nature. So they're doing volcanoes, erosion, and they're also doing a weather balloon type thing where they build a contraption that they have to see if they can float on a column of air. It's really cool, lots of fun.
The idea for this visit came from a teacher's own visit to the Science Center over the summer.
I actually won the PRISM Award for math a few years ago, and the PRISM Awards was at the Orlando Science Center. So while I was there, they give us information about what they have to offer, and that just kind of sparked my interest this summer.
Knowing that the students were not getting enough science in school, she decided to take action.
This is very important to our students because they don't get that at home, so we have to work extra hard at school to provide that for them. And that's one of the reasons why I applied for this scholarship, was so that they could come.
With a program like this, students don't even have to leave the classroom in order to have this one-of-a-kind experience.
It's something that they wouldn't get on just a normal school day. You know, these are meant to be kind of in-school field trips where they don't necessarily have to go anywhere, but they get a special program that is geared and targeted to them, which is always kind of nice because it makes them feel special.
Making children feel good about themselves only encourages them to want to learn more. And that seems to be the main goal here.
Biggest thing for us is to get our kids excited about school. And the show this morning, the Kaboom show, was really exciting for the kids. They got to see physical and chemical changes in action. And I think that that's going to really help them really stick that in their brain, and so that they have that background knowledge for when they have to take a test on it, and hopefully that's something that will stick with them for the rest of their lives.
Leaving that positive impression on students to use this knowledge in the future is working.
I get to actually see a visual of it, and so I can actually see it in my mind happening, and not just words, and I could actually visualize what's happening and as it's happening. So I think that'll help me on the Science FCAT.
The Orlando Science Center returned to Marion County to visit North Marion Middle School as well, with many of the same bells and whistles for that school community. Well, speaking of bells and whistles, our district does just about anything to raise money for the United Way of Marion County. If we're not the top fundraiser, we're in the number 2 slot, but the goal is always the same, helping others in our own community. Here's Joel Hartley to explain.
Marion County Public Schools raises 16% of our overall campaign, and that is significant. The loan executives that work with us from the public schools really do a great job informing people what the United Way is all about.
These are employees of the school district that are, most of them are administrators that would like to have opportunities to work in a more global sense other than just working in their school. And we call them loaned executives because they kind of are loaned to the United Way, to they're trained in how to run a campaign. And these 7 or 8 loaned executives then work with our school campaign coordinators. Then the school campaign coordinators coordinate their employee campaigns at the school and a school campaign, a student campaign. So every school has 2 campaigns, the employee and the student.
Add in the campaigns put on by the different departments, and that's about 10 dozen individual campaigns throughout the district. Some, like Custodial Services Wheelbarrow Raffle, are an annual tradition.
We've been doing this approximately 8 to 9 years. All the donations that we get go into the wheelbarrow. If you win for 1 ticket, and it's $1 a ticket, you win the entire wheelbarrow.
Other departments, like finance, like to mix things up.
We have some pretty creative people in our department, and we come up with different things every year, kind of change things up. 2 years ago, we did the haunted house.
We can't go back that way.
Last year we did the Fall Festival block party where all the departments downtown actually got together, and it was a lot of fun. Had a dunking booth with the superintendent and other executives in it. And then this year we did the green bike giveaway for a Green Regents bike, and that was more, it was simple because we needed something more simple this year because of our conversion to Skyward.
Finance also takes a casual approach to fundraising with Jeans Month.
We actually started off with just doing 1 month, but it was such a big success in our department that Teresa continued to let us do it for the next 2 months. We pay $1 per day to wear our blue jeans, and everyone in the department has the opportunity to be able to do that.
Ideas like that have made the district the top contributor to the United Way campaign for years, but the almost $269,000 raised last year finished second to Publix. The supermarket continued its domination of the fundraising feud with a convincing win in basket brawl too.
Our basket brawl is a great fun activity where we have our employees who participate as basketball players. We have women, we have men, we have a whole assortment of we had over 28 players, and then we have our cheerleaders too. So it's a fun event for our employees. And then Publix provided for us all the concessions, all the food for the concessions. But this year Publix did beat us. It was not pretty.
No worries, Mrs. Shealy, because it's all for a great cause. Uniting schools with their communities is something this next person knows very well. She not only coordinates our homeless student program, she's responsible for bringing veterans into our classrooms and helping thousands of students have a better school experience. In this month's Employee Spotlight, here's Suzanne McGuire to tell us why she loves her job in her own words.
We've got about 40,000 veterans who live here, and I was fortunate about 6 or 7 years ago to be given this project of the Veterans Day program. It's just a great way of having the kids participate in living history. You see a Nautilus sub, you see current, MRAPs that are in Iraq and Afghanistan now. You get to meet World War II veterans, and it's just a great way to showcase living history by having our students visit the park and pay tribute to those veterans and those people who have gone before and given us freedoms. An AP history teacher will email me and say, do you have anyone who served in the Pacific who can come talk about this, because we're studying it. So it's not just their military history, it's what was the environment like, what was the climate like, what did you see, what was their economy, and really living history in our classrooms. I like my job because I think it really is a way to make the community aware of things in the school system that they might not be aware of. The Veterans Day program and Vets in the Classroom brings in one group of people. The Homeless Children program with Stuff the Bus and businesses and individuals helping with a food pantry and adopting kids for the holidays is another way. So being the district volunteer coordinator kind of ties it all in. So I guess it's sort of a good marriage between all the different titles.
Thanks for joining us today on the Classroom Connection. We hope to see you right here again next month. But until then, parents, remember, be there for your child every day.